In the latest episode of Hack My Growth, we're going to be looking at the role of content marketing within the era of semantic search. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If it's your first time watching or maybe been watching a while and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so now. We create new content each week to help you get the most out of your digital marketing activities. As I said in the brief opener, we're going to be talking about content marketing and the role it plays within semantic search. All right, let's go. What is up? All right, let's get into the role of content marketing in semantic SEO. So let's quickly just give a brief definition of what content marketing is so that everybody here is on the same page. Content marketing is a type of marketing that involves the creation and sharing of online material. So we're talking videos, blogs, social media, and more. And it doesn't explicitly promote a brand, but it's intended to stimulate interest in a product or a service. And this comes from Oxford Languages. In short, it's the content you create to help inform current or potential customers so you can grow your business. You're driving people to your website, you're trying to connect with them, you're trying to educate them towards the sale and build that interest. So why does this matter to SEO as a whole? Now, we've maybe heard that saying content is king, but what does that actually mean? Well, on one side, the search engines need content so they can understand what a page is about. A crawler is going to go and read that content and it's going to piece together that information to try to understand some meaning. And today, semantic crawlers and semantic SEO actually allows them to understand quite a bit of that meaning and understand, the context much deeper. Now, users use search engines to find the content that matches their interests. So you can see that the content actually sits in the middle. On one side, we've got the machines. On the other side, we've got the humans. And the content is really what brings them together. The content's indexed by the search engines. The users use those search engines then to uncover the content that they need to help them either answer a question or learn something new or really do whatever they're trying to do on the internet at that time. So how does this impact semantic search? How can content play a role? Well, first we need to really understand what semantic search is trying to do. And semantic search really is an attempt by search engines to generate the most accurate results possible by understanding these three core things: the intent of the searcher, the context of the query, and then the relationship between the words that are being used. Now, this is from an article from Search Engine Journal. If you want to learn more, I highly recommend you check that out. We've also got a number of videos on semantic search on this channel, which you can also watch and learn more about. But as we were saying, is search engines are getting smarter. They're understanding the results in a very different way, and they're using search intent, context, and relationships between the words in order to go deeper. So as you can see, this would impact your content in a pretty huge way. So let's take this a little bit further. So we talk about search intent. This is one of the core aspects of SEO today. And we really need to understand these questions. What is a user trying to solve? What content are they looking for, and what formats do they expect? What is a user expecting from the search? What intent are they going in with? Now, this plays a big role because everybody has a bias, and your searchers are coming in with a specific intent trying to solve a specific problem. And if you can understand that, it'll help define the type of content that you need to create, and also the types of content that the search engines are expecting for a query based on what your users are wanting. So different queries, you'll notice you can type into search engines. You may ask one question and you might get a lot of video content. You may ask something else, you might get no video content. You might do something else and you may get a number of knowledge boxes or other things pulled from the knowledge graph. So depending on the intent, the content and the expectations of that content are going to shift. So we really need to understand that before we start creating content, because we might be creating the wrong type of content and it's going to be much harder to rank that content when the search engines and the users are expecting something else based on their intent. So what about query context? Now, this plays a huge role. Good content in the wrong context is going to fail every single time. Every industry is different and your users have unique problems that they're trying to solve. So this one-size-fits-all approach, like anybody says, well, just start blogging more, or you should only create videos, or you should only do this. Now, I'm a big believer in being a master of one thing and moving on to the next. But the reality is you need to understand what the right thing should be. And a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. So you need to understand things like who your users are. So again, who they are as individuals, as people. What do they do? What industry are they in? What level of job do they have? Where are they? Like, what is their geographic region? That plays a role on query context. What is unique about their perspective when they're searching? What's the context of their search? So somebody searching for legal advice with a law background is very different from somebody searching legal advice because they recently got a DUI. And the types of content are going to be different. And the context as a whole is very different. One is a lawyer, maybe looking to further their career, while the other person is looking for the help of a lawyer. So we need to understand that and the related concepts that help define the understanding. So we need to understand the types of words and the other things that are going in around the things they're searching, things that they've done in the past, maybe paths that they have taken, and really who they are and what their perspective on the situation is. Context today is king. It's so important because depending on the context is going to change the results drastically. And the last thing is word relationship. Semantic SEO has a lot to do with word relationships and understanding how all of those words fit together. Now, after we understand context, we have to choose the right words. Search engines can understand the relationship between words like never before. And they also understand like prepositions. So they understand words like going to somewhere or coming from somewhere. And there's a lot of different use cases that we've shown before in some other videos of where Google, before and after, really leveraging natural language to understand those differences, because again, it can play a big role. And one of those examples is a search query about people from Brazil who want to know, do they need a visa before coming to the United States? Well, previously, before Semantic Search, it was actually showing a lot of stuff about US travelers going to Brazil, which is actually the reverse of what the search query was looking for. So understanding those relationships like to and from and the prepositions and how it's connected with the sentence, now they've been able to shift that so actually they can serve users who are in Brazil looking to understand how they can come to the United States, do they need a visa and all of that. So these word relationships play a big role, and we need to understand those specific topics and the contents that our users use, how those different words are used together, and really what is the meaning behind the sentences and the queries that are being asked. So these three things play a huge role, not just in semantic search, but also if you're designing content, right? You need to make sure that you're very clear in the word choices that you're using, that you're connecting those concepts together, that you're creating the right context, and then you're taking it a step further by first understanding the intent of the user so that you can start from a really good place. So when you create content today, we have to think about our two different audiences, both the user and the machine. A lot of people create content just for SEO purposes. Like, we need a blog because we want the crawlers to come back, and we don't really care about the blog content or the quality of the content. We just need to get more of it. Now, that's not a good idea. Your content always has to serve two audiences, the user and the machine. And so you want to make sure that you're going to have content that if a user finds it, they're actually going to see your business in a good light. It's not just about ranking. It's not just about getting some SERP visibility, but it's also about driving user engagement. That's really the core at SEO. It's not just optimization for the search results, but also driving relevant traffic and make sure that we connect people. And that's what Google wants. They want content that's going to engage users. We've talked a lot in the SEO world about user experience metrics and how much of those play a role. And I think they play a pretty large role because Google, again, wants satisfied customers. When they have satisfied customers, they get more users, which means they can charge more for ad revenue, which is really what they want to do in the end run. So we have to serve two audiences. We have to follow the golden rule and write for people first. Then we optimize for the machines. There's a number of awesome tools out there that you can use to help expand your content further, to create deeper meaning and deeper context, and even add things like structured data, right, that we've talked about a lot here, and building knowledge graphs and all of that really cool techie stuff underneath. But if your content doesn't serve people on the top layer, it's never going to do what you need it to do for the machines as well. So make sure that you write for people first, then you optimize for machines. So here's 3 simple steps to creating better content. The first thing you have to do is really know your audience. And not like just in a conceptual way, but actually know them, know their demographics, know their psychographics, understand what drives them emotionally, get to know them, get to really walk in their shoes so that you can create the types of content they need and they're expecting. The second thing you need to do is uncover intent. Know what they're searching for, why they're searching for it, and the content they expect. When you do that, you're going to be able to create things that are going to serve them. And you're going to be able to create things that have deep meaning and deep context when it comes to the queries that they're looking into. And the search engines are going to like that. And the last thing you do is you create that content for people first, and then you optimize for the machines. You go in and optimize it. You do your basic SEO optimizations. Then you go in and add those other layers of structured data and context optimization and leveraging all these really cool tools that are on the market to help you understand how to take that topic even further and add these other elements into it. When you do that, you're going to create content that the search engines today, the semantic search engines, are really going to enjoy, because they're going to be able to understand what you're talking about, and they're going to be able to match that with users who have those specific intents, which is going to drive the value of your traffic up. It's going to get you more users who are right for your site, that should be taking the actions that you're looking for your organic traffic to take. So if you want to learn more about how to optimize for semantic search and understand it at a deeper level, not just from creating content, but also understanding how do we mark it up so that the machines actually do understand it, we have a course for you. It's how to optimize for semantic search, and it's a simplified approach to this advanced SEO techniques. We're going to talk you through building knowledge graphs and entities, linked data, structured data, and all that. You can sign up at learn.simplifiedsearch.net. I hope you guys learned something new in this video today. If you got any questions, please comment below. We'd love to continue that conversation with you. And until next time, happy marketing.